Please join me in a spirit of prayer. God, here we are, together, gathered this one last time in the space between. We recall the friends, family, professors, mentors, and wise counsel that brought us to this point. In anticipation, we await what comes next. New communities, schools, jobs, friends, opportunities. We know at the core of our being that this space between, this liminal space, is sacred time. That which is greater than us joins us for the briefest of moments as we gather in these last words of wisdom and celebrate the accomplishments and hard work of the class of 2017. This class changed our beloved campus. They took the wisdom and knowledge offered by faculty, staff, friends, family, and mentors and turned it into transformation. This class demanded the best of us and offered their best in return. God, bless us as we celebrate, as we remember, and as we look forward to what comes next. Amen.
On behalf of the Chair of the Board of Trustees, the full membership of the Board of Trustees, and the university's faculty, let me welcome all of you to these, the 178th commencement exercises of DePauw University. Welcome to our honored guests and to our honorary degree recipients. Thank you for gathering with us for this most important of occasions. And welcome, of course, to you, the DePauw University class of 2017. We gather in this way through these rituals to mark your triumphs, to celebrate your achievements, and to confer upon you the degree to which your efforts have led. Please be seated. DePauw's commencement exercises traditionally begin with the address from the Walker Cup recipient. The Walker Cup is awarded to the member of the graduating class who has been determined to have contributed the most to the university during his or her 4 years of enrollment. The Walker Cup recipient is chosen by nomination and recommendation of the members of the senior class and the chairs of the university's academic departments. I would now like to introduce to you this year's Walker Cup recipient, Sarah Fears, who will bring greetings on behalf of the graduating class. Sarah's remarkable record of community service is directly attributable to her personal motto, "Lead with a servant heart." She has been particularly focused on fostering student equality in our community, and for the past 3 years has served as a core member of the DePauw Dialogue Planning Committee and as part of the Diversity and Equity Committee. She has also played a key role in writing DePauw's 5-year diversity and inclusion plan and was a member of the Campus Community Liaison Committee. Also a Bonner Scholar, Sarah has volunteered many hours in the local schools, teaching English as a second language, and also serving as the community service coordinator for the Student Friend program. Sarah plans to obtain a master's degree in higher education administration at the University of Pennsylvania. Please join me in welcoming Miss Sarah Fears.
President McCoy, distinguished faculty, families, and fellow graduates, good morning. My name is Sarah Fears, and I am one of the many voices that represents the class of 2017. As President McCoy said, I am the Walker Cup recipient. I would like to take a moment to thank those who saw me fit for such an award. I remember my first day on campus, I sat under the Walker Cup plaque and I thought, I wonder how many community service hours those nerds put in. Joke's on me, I ended up being one of those nerds. I have written and rewritten this speech roughly 20 times, and every time I realized that I would talk about things that would make other people laugh, feel emotional, and more importantly, be quotable for a good press release. I wrote in times to smile at the crowd and anecdotes that made me seem profound. I erased myself, my story, from the DePauw narrative because I didn't think that I was interesting enough. But if I'm going to be unapologetically me, I want to insert myself in this story. I am an invisible man. No, I am not a spook like those who haunted Edgar Allan Poe, nor am I one of your Hollywood movie ectoplasms. I am a man of substance, of flesh and bone fiber and liquids, and may even be said to possess a mind. I am invisible, understand, simply because people refuse to see me. Like the bodiless heads you see sometimes in circus sideshows, it is as though I am surrounded by mirrors of hard, distorting glass. When they approach me, they see everything and anything except me. Yes, Professor Wimbley, I annotated the text. This is a quote from the prologue of my favorite book, Invisible Man, by Ralph Ellison. For those of you who may not have read the 1952 classic, it is the story of a Black, nameless protagonist who, despite striving to be excellent and do better for himself, is knocked down and ignored. He is forced into obscurity, stealing electricity, living under the ground with his 1,968 light bulbs so he feels visible. I never understood why I loved this novel so much until recently. I related to the protagonist more than anyone or anything I have ever known. Like the narrator, I fought for accomplishments and recognition because I thought that's what life is about, being perpetually visible for others. I thought that nice titles, awards, and Ivy League schools would make me whole. I begged for the approval from others, and when I was criticized, I would sit in my room and try to figure out how to be universally likable. I was consumed by the need to be excellent that I rendered myself invisible. A skeleton of a person going through the motions to please other people, shake hands, and kiss babies. I was aggressively competitive, so I would stay on top for as long as possible. I was a collector of physical achievements, not moments. I became engrossed with this idea of success. My narrow definition would make me stay up at night, excessively writing out my future plans, making endless timelines of where and how I should be at graduation, how old I needed to be by the time I earned my PhD, and how I was going to get to the next step in my life. It was never about what I truly wanted, but what others said was a good track for me. It was about how I would look to others, how decorated my office was going to be when I finally get one. I lost myself. And because I lost myself, I was miserable. I'm here today to tell you that you are more than what other people think of you. Live your life in ways that you have only dreamed of. Live unrestricted, free of the judgment and approval from others. Live your life for yourself, and do what makes you genuinely happy. Live your life like the first day we arrived on campus. Fill an inflatable pool with water and have a pool party on Longden's roof if that's what you're into. Make new friends without being hardened and let go of your baggage. Experience and know true happiness. Live in the moment. We are a culmination, the total sum of our lived experiences, and if our lives are just what we thought others expected of us, then we are not truly living the lives we are meant to live. Do not let anyone else write or control your story. No one else can tell you who you are. No one else can assign a value to you. You are priceless. Embrace your individuality, your quirks, your tics, your unique selves. Be visible to yourself. Now, what do I mean by be visible to yourself, if I may so myself? That's a good question. Know who you are without others around. Know who you are not in relation to anyone else. Know yourself without parents, your friends, or your significant others. Are you happy with yourself in its purest form? Can you be alone with yourself? Are you the person you wanted to be? It is difficult to get to know yourself. Deep self-reflection is uncomfortable. What we find below the surface of our souls might not be what we want to see, but it's what we need to see. We get in our own way because we know that if we love and appreciate ourselves, we are unstoppable. We know that we have untapped potential, and it's terrifying to know that we have that sort of unlimited power inside of us. When we know ourselves, no one can tell us that we are undeserving because we know that we are deserving of something. No one can treat us poorly because we know that we can get up and walk away. That is the beauty of being visible to yourself. And not only are we visible to other people when we're visible to ourselves, but we have the ability to see other people. We have the opportunity to actually see the individual wonders that people are. People whose hearts beat with an assured certainty. People whose synapses fire and procure late-night jokes in the basement of Roy. People who have electricity pulsing through their veins, exchanging power and affirmation with every touch. People with passionate souls who reach out to you when you haven't left your room in a week because your soul was aching. Who bring you birthday cakes at midnight when all you wanted to do was cry from the stress of the world. People who see you for who you are. A miracle. Wrapped in your own light that radiates from your innermost self. And you know that your light is valid, no more or less than anyone else's. A light that complements your peers, not competes. How joyous it is to shed the fear, to rip off our invisibility cloaks and step into ourselves. How marvelous it must feel to be enough, and not what others think is enough, but what you know is enough for yourself. We are, in splendid fashion, embarking on our individual journeys. Do not become invisible because you are frightened by your own light. Fret not when others don't see it. It is a daunting task to leave the security of the last 4 years. We may be tempted to rely on our future employers or schools to tell us who we are. In fact, they might even feel that they can tell you who you are, but they can't. In his final reflections, Ralph Ellison's narrator states, "All my life, I had been looking for something, and everywhere I turned, someone tried to tell me what it was. I accepted their answers too, though they were even contradictory and self-contradictory. I was naive. I was looking for myself and asking everyone except myself questions which I, and only I, could answer. It took me a long time and much painful boomeranging of my expectations to achieve a realization that everyone else appears to have been born with. I am nobody but myself." Let these words not fall on deaf ears. You are no one but yourself. To aspire to be someone else is failing to see the intricacies of your being. You are not the person you are sitting next to, and that is perfectly okay. Each one of us is exceptional. DePauw's class of 2017 is a force to be reckoned with. The world outside of DePauw is not ready for the brilliant light our class is going to provide. They cannot render us invisible. With that being said, congratulations, class of 2017. I see you. Go forth and be conduits of change.
I have the pleasure today to welcome as our commencement speaker James C. Alling, 1983 alumnus of DePauw and the Chief Executive Officer of Tom's Shoes. This is not the first time that DePauw has had the honor to hear from Jim. Just a few years ago, he was one of our renowned Ubben lecturers, joining the likes of former UK Prime Minister David Cameron, comedian Jimmy Kimmel, primatologist Jane Goodall, civil rights legend and presidential advisor, and another famous alumnus, Vernon Jordan Jr., class of '57, and even one of our honorary degree recipients today, Todd Rundgren. It is indeed good to have Jim with us again. A few years following his graduation from DePauw with double majors in economics and Spanish, Jim had earned his master's degree and launched a business career that has taken him to top positions with some of the most well-known companies in the United States and in the world. Before heading Tom's, Jim served as Chief Operating Officer of T-Mobile USA. In that position, he was responsible for all customer services and a subscription base of over 44 million users, reversing the company's downward business trajectory into the fastest growing wireless carrier in the industry. If, like me, you are somewhat passionate about coffee, you might also know a company known as Starbucks. From 1997 till 2008, Jim served as an executive with Starbucks, leading the launch of its coffee into the grocery channel. In his years with that company, he was promoted into a series of roles with ever-increasing scope and responsibility, eventually becoming president of Starbucks Coffee USA and the president of Starbucks International. Jim's career began with Nestle in 1985, where he became the youngest vice president general manager at Nestle USA and turned Coffee Mate into a $325 million franchise. In his spare time, Jim and his family volunteer with the March of Dimes, as well as the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation and many nonprofit companies. We are very proud and humbled to have him back on our campus today. Please join me in welcoming Jim Alling.
Well, hello, DePauw. Good to see everybody. The bell is back on campus where it should be. How about that? I was waiting to come back to campus till you guys finally won the bell back. So thank you to the football team and cheering them on. And another special thing, I don't see any clouds. The sun is out. The class of 17 is blessed, I tell you. So, President McCoy, thank you for the intro to parents, relatives, family, friends that are here to honor you. It is just such a pleasure to be with you and an honor to be part of your special weekend. For me, this is just such a special place to be able to come back to DePauw and to be able to bring my wife here for the first time and to walk around the campus and just to feel the energy on the campus, to walk around and recognize all the memories we've had, all the fun times that I had during my 4 years here at DePauw. And then my wife and I decided to have a few fun times of our own at the Fluttering Duck on Friday night. I say we were very well taken care of by some of our senior class of 17, so thank you for the rounds of drinks. You were far too generous in continuing to bring them to us, but it did give us the chance to stay up late enough to end the evening as only you can end a Good Friday night at Marvin's, having garlic cheeseburgers at 2:15 in the morning. Now, I figured something out just recently. This is what comes with the wisdom of 34 years out of DePauw. I think there's a reason why those GCBs taste so good at 2 a.m., but not so great at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. Anyway, it was for me. You guys get it. These guys get it. So for me, though, with my wife, we literally said it was like we were 22 again. Literally out, hanging out at Marvin's, hanging out at the Duck. Unfortunately, the next morning, woke up and felt like I was 72. And what I've come to realize is this campus is timeless. It is timeless. It stays young. But I recognize I am not timeless. And we come back, and that's the way it should be. It grows, but it's repopulated with new energy. You've brought that energy. I encourage you to come back and enjoy the energy of what you've created, you've built upon here at DePauw. Now, as I said, I am both honored and proud to be here as your commencement address speaker, but I will also tell you, it's an intimidating assignment. You think about it, wow, what pearls of wisdom is he going to drop on us here for the class of 17 as they head off? And I got to tell you, I really don't feel qualified to be up here giving expert advice to anyone. But I sat right where you are now 34 years ago. And I do feel qualified to tell you some of the things that I've learned along the way, some of the lessons I've learned, and some of the things I've come to appreciate. And I want to start out with one thing for all of you in the class of 17. You are far more prepared for the road ahead, moving into the real world because of the time you've spent here at DePauw. Now, I'm not saying you aren't going to face struggles and challenges, doubts and fears, and as President McCoy talked about yesterday, yes, you will experience failure. I know that because I sat in that seat and I have experienced those things. I also know that everyone who has experienced those things, or everyone who sat in those seats has experienced the same thing. But what I also know is your time here has prepared you to face those challenges, face those fears, and to move them to opportunity and success. Your experiences over the last 4 years, during your time here at DePauw, experiences in the classroom, experiences outside the classroom, have taught you things that will carry with you through the rest of your journey. And I would tell you, DePauw did not attempt to give you all the answers, but rather DePauw focused on teaching you how to ask the right questions, how to ask the right questions of yourself, of others, of situations. DePauw taught all of you and taught me critical thinking skills. I want you to commit to continuing to ask those questions, the right questions of yourself, of situations, of others, to use those critical thinking skills, to put them to good use. Because as I left campus 34 years ago, when you drive off tomorrow, for me, the things that were most valuable now as I look back in reflection were those critical thinking skills that I developed here and continue to hone today. And also, the other most valuable things were those lifelong friendships that I built here at DePauw. So that's one lesson I just want to share with the team right here, is that you will face those challenges, but you are more ready to face them than you realize. The other thing that I learned as I continued on my career is the importance of leaving everything better than you found it. And I like to call this the George Bailey effect. And you guys don't look like you're getting the George Bailey thing. So It's a Wonderful Life, Zuzu's Petals. And they're in the movie, It's a Wonderful Life. I recommend you see it. It's one of my personal favorites. I love Jimmy Stewart and all the overacting and everything in the movie. But he literally, just by being of service, by making things better, he was able to keep Bedford Falls the special way it was versus becoming Pottersville. So that's the George Bailey effect. I think this best came to me when I was working at DePauw. Never worked at DePauw. When I was working at Starbucks. And I was given the opportunity to run all the retail stores in America. And I had never done any retail. So this for me was a brand new experience. So I thought, boy, who can I learn from? So I reached out to the first head of retail at Starbucks, a guy named Howard Bihar. And I said, Howard, I would love to just tour stores with you, go around and learn from you, what you see, how you do it. He said, I'd love to do that. So we got together early in the morning and went from store to store to store. And you'd go in and you'd talk to people and you'd do your thing. And we did this across 17 stores, and we'd ride in the car together between the stores, and he'd be asking me all these questions about retail operations and running the stores, and what do you think this costs? What do you think you ought to do about that? And I was, I felt like it was pop quiz all over again. I thought, oh my God, am I getting the right answers? This guy, he was like the Yoda of retailing for me, and I wanted to impress him. So we got to the end of the day, going our separate ways. I was going to go back to my car. And I said, Howard, I got to know, how do you think I'm going to do running the stores, heading this group? And he says, I think you're going to do a great job. And I said, so you really like my answers to the question? He goes, oh, God, no. He says, you've got so much to learn about retail, son. But he said, here's the thing. When you went into the stores, what impressed me is you always made that connection with the baristas, the people working behind the counter. And you asked them a lot of questions, and I saw you took a lot of notes as you asked those questions. He said, what you do with those answers is very important. That's something, obviously, I've learned through my time at DePauw. He said, the other thing that even impressed me more, though, was on the way into the first store, I noticed you reached down and picked up a wrapper that was on the sidewalk and threw it in the trash can. He said, that's why I think you're going to do a good job. He said, we are a trash picking up kind of company. If you are too good to pick up trash, you're too good to be the head of retail. You need to go somewhere else. But because you don't see that as someone else's job and you just reached down and picked up that trash and threw it away, he says, I think you're going to be the right type of person to serve this. And he shared with me then a saying that's a paraphrase that he gave from the Torah. And that saying was, if not me, who? If not now, when? If not me, who? If not now, when? And what he was basically saying is, don't look around to give a job to somebody else. If you see a way to be of service, do that job. What he was telling me was the best way to do my job well was to be of service to the people I led. And I took that with me as I started into retail at Starbucks, heading up the stores. And there was another example. I was at an open forum, and we'd get everyone together this was in the Chicago area, and came in to the open forum and just said, hey, want to hear what's on your minds. How can we make the stores better for you? And the store managers, they're very vocal. They don't know how to be politically correct. They just tell you what they think. They're not going to say, oh, Mr. President, I don't want to offend you. They just said, Jim, our toilets suck. He said, our toilets overflow all the time. They're spilling all over the floor. They're a real problem for us. They're like residential toilets from a home. I said, okay, I think that's something we can fix. So, being the big thinker I am, I said, let's get some super industrial grade toilets. So these things must have come from Hewlett Packard or something. You'd flush that sucker, and you better be strapped down because it was just like, and everybody, And I will tell you, that made a bigger impression on that team in Chicago that we got the toilets done. And again, it was being of service to them. But I came back to Chicago 6 months later. I was like a rock star. And they're like, it's the toilet guy. He's the guy. He got it done for us. And for me, again, that was how I could be a leader, was being of service, finding the toilets. The other story, I know, sexy stuff, right? The other story I want to share just to reinforce this, again with Starbucks. This was, again, right as I was taking over leadership of the stores. We had an executive retreat, and it was like the top 10 of us at the company. And the retreat started, as most meetings do at Starbucks, with a coffee tasting, going back to your roots. And the coffee tasting was led by the first head of coffee, a guy named Dave Olson, and he came back to do this coffee tasting, and he put on his original Starbucks apron, which was really cool. And when he put it on, I noticed a couple of things. This was 15 years ago, by the way. So he put it on, and the first thing I noticed was there's, the Starbucks logo here with the mermaid in the middle. Well, the mermaid from when he was in the stores, risque. You had mermaid's fins are up in the air, and she's like topless, and it was like, oh my God, this is never going to make it past legal today. But the other thing that struck me that I really noticed, the apron he was wearing had a couple of pockets in the front. And I had never seen pockets on aprons at Starbucks for the baristas. And it hit me, and I asked the question, why don't we have pockets on the aprons anymore? And someone told me that they took away the pockets at some point in time because people were taking money out of the cash till. This is back when people used to pay with cash. I know, what a concept, you know. But they would take money out of the cash till, and because the pockets were right in the front, they would stick bills, you know, literally steal money, put it in, put the pockets into the pockets. So they decided to take the pockets away. And when I thought about that, the first thing that hit me was, well, how hard is it to, you know, reach around and put it in your back pant pocket? I mean, this is not, you know, rocket science. But the other thing I thought was, this is something people want. This is something that actually helps them do their jobs. And I started asking baristas, would you like to have these pockets? And they said, yeah, they took them away, but we'd love to have them. And I finally said, God, I don't think I would have ever taken those pockets away. And then I remembered the words that Howard Behar told me. He said, if not me, who? If not now, when? Not me, who? Not now, when? So we brought the pockets back. And they're still there today. 15 years later, you can see the pockets. You know, toilets and pockets and picking up trash, that's my legacy. You know, and I will tell you, it doesn't seem glamorous, right? But being of service and leaving things better than you found them is what makes me proud. You are not going to stay in your first job, most likely, and retire from it. You will move from job to job. You will learn as you make those moves. I encourage you, do what you can to leave what you found better than it was, or leave what you found better when you leave it. Did I say that right? Yes. So that's the second thing, as I've reflected, that I want to share with you. The last one is being of service feels good. Being of service, helping others, is actually one of the most self-serving things you can do, and I've learned this. I actually went to Tom's Shoes because I felt it was a company where I could be of service. And for those of you who don't know about Tom's, I want to just share a little bit about the background of the company. Tom's, first of all, was trying to reach me with an executive recruiter, and they reached out and called me numerous times, and I kept thinking, I really don't want to work for a toothpaste company in Maine, because you guys know Tom's in Maine. I was thinking, okay, I don't think I want to go work for the toothpaste company. And finally, the recruiter said, this is a different company, and it's a different kind of company. Come meet the founder. Come meet the founder of Tom's, and if you don't want to join the company after that, fine. So I met a guy named Blake Mikowski, who founded Tom's Shoes, and he shared with me the Tom story. And I said, you know, how'd you get started? He said, I was on a trip in Argentina, and I saw kids who needed shoes but couldn't afford them. They couldn't have shoes. And he said it was just breaking his heart. So he said, what can I do to help? And he didn't want to hit friends and relatives up for money. So what he decided to do, he had what I consider to be a very simple, yet a really inspired idea. And that idea was to sell a pair of shoes today so that he could give a pair of shoes away tomorrow. And that was something he called the Tomorrow's Shoe Project. Now, you may be wondering, okay, how does the name Tom's come out then if the guy's name is Blake? It actually is because Tomorrow's Shoes, when you try to print that on the back of the heel, you couldn't get much, but you could get 4 letters up there. So Tom's is not Blake's, it's Tom's, because it's about tomorrow's shoes. That started 11 years ago. That was when he had the first idea. His goal was to be able to sell 250 pairs of shoes. Now, 11 years later, over 70 million children have received new free shoes because we've been able to sell 70 million pairs. So for each pair sold, a pair is given away. And that's something that I'm very proud of. And as I've been part of Tom's, I've had reinforced for me that people are inherently good, that people want to be part of something bigger than themselves. We are physiologically wired to do good, to give. There are certain neurochemicals that we secrete in giving and being of service that they're serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine. Those neurochemicals actually give us a high. They give us a natural high. They make us feel good. And as that happens, it reinforces our desire to do so. So I will tell you, being of service, giving, not only isn't a good thing to do, it's a good thing for you to do for yourself. So as far as some of the reflection on lessons I've learned, since I've been with you in that seat, those are the things I wanted to share. But I do also want to share a hope I have for all of you. This is a hope for the class of 17, and it's a hope that my wife and I, who's here with me, hi honey, my wife and I have for our 3 boys. And my guess is it's a hope that everyone who came here to support you, who's been part of your lives, has for you as well. And those hopes are, first of all, I hope, like any parent, that my boys know that I love them. I hope that all of you know that you are loved and that you have the confidence and security that comes from that love. But I also hope that you love back in turn. And I want to reach out because I see my parents now. So my parents have not been back to DePauw since I graduated. This is the first time they've ever heard me speak. Am I doing okay? All right, so Mom and Dad, I love you. Annette, I love you. So that's one hope I have for you. And as a parent, I know it's easy for me to give love to my boys. But the other thing that I wish for all of you and I wish for my children is they are happy. I want you to be happy. But again, as a parent, what I've realized is I can give love, but I can't give happiness. You're not going to go to a meal today with your family and friends and relatives and have them package up, something that you open up for your graduation gift and go, surprise, it's a lifetime of happiness and fulfillment. It doesn't work that way. You can't give happiness to someone. You all have to find it. You have to find it through struggles. You have to find it through achievement. You find it from facing your fears. You find it through disappointments, and you find it through triumphs. But as you find that happiness, you want to continue to build on that and the fulfillment that you feel now, but throughout your life. That's the hope I have for you. Now, in closing, I just want to say to the class of 2017, I'm not going to let you get out of here without one homework assignment. So I'm sticking you. Yeah, I know. It's like, just when I thought I was out, he pulls us back in. So my homework assignment for you is take a moment today, on a day when you are in the spotlight, when you are the center of attention, take a moment to stop and thank those special people in your life who have loved and supported you and helped you as you reach the place you are today. And also, take a moment to thank them in advance. Thank them in advance for the love and support they will give you as you begin this next leg of your journey to find that happiness and fulfillment. Thank you, everyone. Class of 17, I wish you great success. Go get them, Tigers.
Thank you, Jim. I now call on Marshall Reavis IV, Chair of the DePauw University Board of Trustees, to come forward. Mr. Reavis, these persons have been recommended by the faculty as having met the conditions for degrees from DePauw University. I therefore ask you, as the Chair of the Board of Trustees, to authorize me to advance them their degrees.
Thank you. President McCoy, on the recommendation of this outstanding and dedicated faculty, the Board of Trustees of DePauw University, by its unanimous vote, now authorizes you to confer degrees upon all candidates, including the honorary doctorates, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Musical Arts, Bachelor of Musical Education, and Bachelor of Arts.
I now call on Dr. Harris to present the candidates for honorary degrees.
President McCoy, may I present James C. Alling, an innovative businessman and recognized leader in his field, for the degree of Doctor of Business Administration.
James C. Alling, you are a proven leader and a visionary strategic thinker, the model of a DePauw University graduate. In your more than 30 years in the business world, your resolve to make a tangible difference in the world has been reflected in your positions as well as in your philanthropic endeavors. You have a consistent track record of success and commitment to putting people first in business and in life. Upon recommendation of the faculty, the Board of Trustees of DePauw University has authorized me to confer upon you, Jim Alling, the honorary degree of Doctor of Administration, as a Business Administration. As a symbol thereof, you are granted this hood and this citation bearing the great seal of the corporation and the signatures of proper officials.
President McCoy, may I present Jesse S. Kharbanda, an environmental advocate, mentor, and champion for public health, for the degree of Doctor of Public Service.
Jesse S. Kharbanda, you have been a leading local environmental advocate for the past decade. Your dedication to the creation of collaborative solutions through business, public health, and environmental groups have made you a local leader in the Indianapolis community and a role model to many. As the executive director of the Hoosier Environmental Council, you have forged unprecedented partnerships to campaign for the protection of the public's health and to champion renewable energy, safe farming practices, clean air, and statewide protection of our waters. Your honors include being named to the 40 Under 40 list by the Indianapolis Business Journal in 2011, being recognized as the sole Indianapolis-based community leader named to Delta Omega, the National Public Health Honorary in 2010, and winning the Holman Health Achievement Award for Public Policy Advocacy in 2015. Further, your environmental commitment serves as an example for our current students and generations of students to come. Upon the recommendation of the faculty, the Board of Trustees of DePauw University has authorized me to confer upon you, Jesse S. Kharbanda, the honorary degree of Doctor of Public Service. As symbols thereof, you are granted this hood and this citation bearing the great seal of the corporation and the signatures of the proper officials.
Thank you to the DePauw University community for the tremendous honor of this doctorate. Much love to my mother and brother who are visiting me today, and much warmth to the wonderful teachers and alumni of the DePauw Environmental Policy Project, whom time will not allow me to individually thank on stage. Before I talk about what I believe is the calling of your class, I want to talk about what I most want to celebrate about your class. Every year, the organization that I run puts on a civic forum called Greeting the State House. Fittingly, the last image of our official video of our forum last year just happened to be of a delegation of DePauw students, and it was an image of pure joy and hope. In that photo, DePauw students of diverse backgrounds symbolize the promise of what is to come in our society. One where diverse workforces are commonplace, one where the content of character, not one's superficial, unchanging traits, reigns supreme. That society where every thoughtful voice feels valued, respected, and empowered could not come soon enough. For we need every good soul and mind of every background to come together to address the calling of your class and the calling of our time. And what is that calling? In this century, we must commit ourselves to the uplift of not only all of humanity, but all of creation, people, animals, and the environment. For people, we cannot sit idly by when 3.6 billion people have less combined wealth than the richest 62 people in our world. For animals, we cannot sit on the sidelines when half of the species on this planet face extinction by the end of our century. For the environment, we cannot be silent when our marine ecosystems could collapse due to climate change and short-sighted practices by the middle of this century. Enshrine it in your heart and mind that however busy your lives get with jobs, more formal education, marriage, and deep friendship, you will be an engaged citizen for creation. You will not just vote and express political opinions, but you'll attend town hall meetings, meet your elected officials, volunteer for cause-related and political campaigns. In short, you will stake a meaningful place in our democracy for the good of all creation. Class of 2017, may you direct your civic energies to helping to empower the economically struggling in our world, to have a safe and dignified life. May you direct your civic energies to ensuring that animals of every stripe will have a chance to thrive in a world that is theirs too. And may you direct your civic energies to preserve our precious ecosystems for generations to come. Wishing you all not only happiness as you follow your calling, wishing you a deep sense of determination, empathy, and courage to be a part of the ambitious, urgent cause of uplifting all of creation, the great calling of our time. Thank you and congratulations.
President McCoy, may I present Todd Rundgren, a multifaceted producer, composer, and state-of-the-art musician for the degree of Doctor of Performing Arts.
Todd Rundgren, you have been a powerful presence in the music arena for over 40 years. Entertainment Tonight has called you rock's Renaissance man. Your dozens of albums, including A Wizard, A True Star, and hit singles including Hello, It's Me and Bang the Drum, have transcended time and solidified your music for many generations of fans. Your dedication to cutting-edge recording technologies and productions of countless albums for other musicians continues to bring you to the forefront of music influence. Upon recommendation of the faculty, the Board of Trustees of DePauw University has authorized me to confer upon you, Todd Rundgren, the honorary degree of Doctor of Performing Arts. As symbols thereof, you are granted this hood and this citation bearing the great seal of the corporation and the signatures of proper officials.
We will now begin the awarding of bachelor degrees. I call upon Dr. Caroline Jeton, Associate Dean of the School of Music, to assist in the awarding of these degrees.
Let the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Musical Arts, and Bachelor of Music Education please stand. President McCoy, I present to you the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Musical Arts, and Bachelor of Music Education. Bachelor of Music. Allison Marika Amata. Brittany Ann Goon. Dallas Philip Gray. Brian Peter Lockman. Julia Eileen Massacott, magna cum laude. Sarah Jean Pistorius, magna cum laude. Dylan Brooke Prentice, cum laude. Eleanor Lorraine Price, magna cum laude. Lindsay Grace Sullivan. Derek Dwayne Truby, Jr. Bachelor of Musical Arts, Andrew Carl Casey. Kimberly Nicole Deboucher. Hannah Joy Gothier. Kazuki Hanado. Eric Chester Heaton. Zachary James Jacobs. Kevin Alexander Colleen II. Gretchen Therese Stibich. Bachelor of Music Education, Sarah Rose Debienne. Aaron Jordan Rabishaw. Graham Donald Richmond. Therese Marie Tazioli.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts now please stand? President McCoy, it is with pleasure that I present to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Will the first row of Bachelor of Arts candidates please remain standing? All others may be seated. Those persons listed on the program whose names are not called this afternoon will receive their degrees in absentia. Sarah Emily Fears, Walker Cup recipient. The following graduates are playing in the NCAA Division III Mid-East Regional Baseball Championships, where they are semifinalists and maybe finalists by now. Aiden Thomas Kane, Robert Maxwell Cohen, John Riley Futterconnect, Ryan Julian Grippo, Michael Robert Hamill, Nicholas Allen Horvath, Ryan Hutton Hurston, Reed Michael Petard, Joseph Anthony Plessick IV, Andrew Joseph Quinn, Tate Anson Stewart, Jack Charles Thompson, Zachary James Wade. We can do honor to their name. Nicholas James Abbott. Bradley John Adams. Marco Lee Adams. Jeffrey Ado. Eliezer Adejon. Lauren Hollett Ulrichs. Nicholas Benjamin Ailstock. Caleb Michael Akers, magna cum laude. Kainak Akmal. Haley Marie Alder. Sydney Patrice Alexander. Samuel David Alcama. Stuart Graham Alvey, magna cum laude. Dominic Wilson Amalraj. Felix Apia Amankwa. An Tone. Michaela Suzanne Anderson, magna cum laude. Megan Christina Angers. Keegan Henderson Angevin. Grace Ellen Anschutz. Evan Marshall Atkinson. Norbert Rome Gakutan. Oninieche Orishonayanme Awani. Nicholas Andrew Babinski. Navy Esperanza Baez. Rebecca Guide Bagdochimo. Allison Louise Baker. Dakota Richard Baker. Addison Lauren Ball. Justin Frederick Barnes. Anne Claire Barrett, summa cum laude. Second Lieutenant Tyler Edward Arnold Barrett. Joseph Robert Bauer. Emily Margaret Bell, summa cum laude. Catherine Diane Bender. Mallory Elizabeth Benson. Caitlin Lee Berry, summa cum laude. Juan Ignacio Berumen. B. Ron, cum laude. Julie Elizabeth Block, magna cum laude. Mitch Bennett Bowling. Joel Christopher Borders, Jr. Vivian Carol Borse, summa cum laude. Michael Ata Ni Borte Doku, Jr. Jeremy Scott Boyd. Colin Spencer Bradshaw. James Kenneth Brashaber. Abigail Lynn Braun, summa cum laude. Jennifer Gabriella Bravo. Abigail Church Brennan. Adam Richard Bridges. Cole Matthew Brinegar. Eric Andrew Brooks. Evelyn Claire Brocious. Sarah Catherine Brocker. Amy Elizabeth Brown, magna cum laude. Aviance Tandalea Brown. Stephanie Elizabeth Buffa. Bradley Levi Birch, cum laude. Nicole Alexandra Burge. Kristen Marcelin Burgess, cum laude. Megan Therese Burke, summa cum laude. William James Burke, summa cum laude. Abigail Lauren Baroker. Alexis Catherine Burton. Amber Rose Calderon. Cara Roberta Callahan. Xavier Isaias Camacho. Cody Daniel Campbell. Samuel Lloyd Caravana, magna cum laude. Sophia Isabel Carretero. Cassandra Carrillo. Manon Noel Carter. Christine Sonia Cassidy, cum laude. Miranda Sue Castle. Brennan Joseph Champion. Brian Chan. Elizabeth Ann Chalmowski. Jenna Rain Chiaro, cum laude. Mary Helen Church. Joshua Charles Clark, summa cum laude. Katherine Jane Clark. Justin Joanna Clark. Kelsey McKenna Cobbs, cum laude. Grace Ann Coburn. Morgan Ann Cohen, summa cum laude. Jeffrey Jonathan Collins. Rebecca Ann Conley, cum laude. Nathaniel J. Conviser. Charles Richard Cook. Grace Elizabeth Cook, cum laude. Caleb James Copeland, cum laude. Sean Peter Coyne. Benton Charles Kreider. Clinton Hugh Cunningham. Ashley Marie Cupel. Matthew Ian Curran, summa cum laude. Shelby Grace Cusack. John Paul Cusimano. Michael John Dasky II, cum laude. Danielle Lee DiTilio, summa cum laude. Akil Davis. Taquisha Dean, cum laude. Hayden Isabella DeBruler, summa cum laude. Simone Elizabeth Deegan, magna cum laude. Jonathan Jesse Delgado. Pan Pan Deng. Emily Ann Denny. Christopher John Dicko, magna cum laude. Julia Christian Dillon. Jennifer Ann Demos, cum laude. Charles Robert Douglas. Catherine Foreign Druskevich, cum laude. Du Si Won. Joshua Eli Dahlberger. Perrin Clore Duncan, cum laude. Peyton Michael Dunning. Alexander Renee Dussault. Kristen Nicole Dyer, summa cum laude. Kirsten Kane Ames. Jack David Eberhardt. Courtney Elaine Eintertz. Caitlin Ellen Emmert, magna cum laude. Melinda Ruth Irvin. Marshall, did you want to give the degree? Are you giving? Henry Marshall Erzinger. Bulmaro Espericueta. Scott Christopher Espick. Kenyana Ashley Evans. Ital Henry Ewing. Sierra Havon Fombro. Patrick Paul Farrell. Christopher Thomas Fetterman. Anna Maria Fenolio. Odessa Omega Fernandez. Joseph William Fisher. Evan Andrew Folger. Alexandria Joe Follett. Allison Ann Foster, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Frazier, cum laude. Ella Gray Freihofer. Vanessa Michelle Frigi. Jeffrey Frimpong. Jamie Lee Fritsch. Kyle Edward Froning. Margaret Julia Fertner, summa cum laude. Rangelise Galvez. Zujing Gao. Alexandria Marie Gomer. Elizabeth Rose Gehring, magna cum laude. Shanera Nays Ramos Heronge. Nicole Grace Gibson. Giramata. Elizabeth Frances Gleason. Harrison Loach Glover, cum laude. Zachary Taylor Golay, cum laude. Elena Marie Gonzalez. Julian Rafael Gonzalez. Vanessa Gonzalez. Ian Lawrence Good. Jonathan David Good. Lauren Elizabeth Good. Caroline Ann Gooden. Kayla Teresa Goodwin, magna cum laude. Courtney Elizabeth Graham. Annelle Jean Graves, magna cum laude. Ray Nathan Augustin Gray. Thomas Moore Gray. Erica Bertali Guerrero. Matthew Hoyer Gullickson, cum laude. Yingda Guo. Megan Elizabeth Hadley. Claire Allison Hatfield, summa cum laude. Kelsey Dalma Haller, cum laude. Taylor Anita Hampton. Han Yu Fei. Joshua Lee Hanselman. Edward Williams Hartfield II. Luke Andrew Hartline. Owen Jefferson Hartman. Mallory Elizabeth Hasty, cum laude. Benjamin David Hatchett. Elizabeth Ann Hawkins, magna cum laude. Zane Alden Hayden. Devin LaRue Hayes. Carrie Elise Hemmelgarn, magna cum laude. Michael Thomas Henderson. Nicholas Arthur Hendricks. Catherine Grace Hensley. Diego Herrera. Jackson Robert Hicks, cum laude. Kristen Michelle Hillman. Allison Lee Hills. Thomas Andrew Hinkbein. Natasha Marie Hockeden. Christian Pierce Hodgson. Zachary Philip Hoffman. Elizabeth Ann Holland. Jacqueline Janine Hallkamp. Sovandara Hu, cum laude. Mallory Lee Howard, cum laude. Taylor Teray Howard. Matthew Patrick Hunt. Cullen Eileen Hunter, cum laude. Diana Wynn, magna cum laude. Nancy Ann Wynn. Kalechi U. Iquakor. Taylor Alexis Ingram, cum laude. Noah Barrett Innes. Shannon Marie Jager, summa cum laude. Nathan Lewis John. Carolyn Rose Jed, cum laude. Michael Rainier Jennings. Gabrielle Lily Jean Jensen, cum laude. John Patrick Jessup, cum laude. Jazkia Monet Jones. Sydney Jean Jordan. Carson Andrew Kamen, cum laude. Daniel Jordan Cantor. Megan Elaine Kaubowski, summa cum laude. Midori Kawawe, summa cum laude. Kevin McNichols Keene. Christine Hyann Kim, cum laude. Kevin Timothy King. Jason Ryan Kirchhoff. Erica Ann Kischuk, cum laude. Yuka Kitajima, cum laude. Jacob Paul Kitaka. Kevin Michael Kiyosaki. Mats Alexander Klein. Mitchell J. Click. David Martin Kobe. Nicholas Daniel Konasek. Andrew Genter Creeder. Thomas Joseph Crispin. Stephen William Kubiak. Charlene Ann Quenin. Bertani Faye LaCour. Claire Elizabeth Ladd. Rachel Elizabeth Lar, summa cum laude. Clay Patrick Langley, cum laude. Robert Siegler Lapp. John Joseph Latner III. Luke A. Latner. Frederick Laverick, cum laude. Truk Hin T. Lay, summa cum laude. Laura Valerie Ledesma. Madeline Dujin Lee, cum laude. Alexander Lloyd Lemna. Rachel Francis Lenderman. Jasmine Patrice Lassane. Michael John Lestina. Larry T. Lewis. Wee Chan Lee. Mi Lin, cum laude. Samuel Lowry Lomar. Margaret Marie Lomasney. William Edwards Longthorn, cum laude. David Nathan Lopez. Crystal Elizabeth Lopez Trueblood. Brandon Crawford Luger. Zheng Luo. Zhou-Yang Luo. Jacob Lewis Lin. Emma Clear McAnally. Leah Marie Malka. Aaron Robert Mahoney, cum laude. Claire Faye Marquardt. Harold Lee Martin III. Katherine Margaret Martin, magna cum laude. Kristen Ann Martin. Shahaya Martinez. Annalise Shirley-Ann Mason, cum laude. Emily Biggs Matthews, cum laude. Oliver Mitchell Mauk. Sophie Ann Mazurek. Megan Kelsey McCann. Emily Dunlop McCarter, magna cum laude. Katie Lynn McCauley, cum laude. James Joseph McDonald III, cum laude. Bradley Ian McGee, cum laude. Richard Bernard McGowan II. Michael Edward McGrath. Riley James McIntyre. Madison Taylor McIntyre. Michelle Marie McLean. Corey Adam Medina. Cameron Douglas Meehan. Yinha May, cum laude. Natalia Mello. Amy Lauren Melton. Devin Elise Menching. Emily Grace Menching. Lois Mary Miller, summa cum laude. Sarah Ann Mitchell. Allie Danielle Mock. Madeline Jo Mormon, magna cum laude. Claudia Hallie Monnet. Alexandria Elizabeth Moore. Nina Elise Moore. William Everett Moore II. Brittany Elizabeth Morales. Mary Grace Morgese. Hannah Christina Morrill. Megan Kathleen Mullen. Tyler Lee Murphy, cum laude. Paris Rayana Murray. Abigail Lynn Myers. Ujval Arun Nair, cum laude. Emily Virginia Nassef. Peter Emmerich Nelson. Elizabeth Victoria Netcher. Angela Nicole Newland. Jennifer Ann Norhad. Gunnar Miles Norrid. Megan Elizabeth Oakley. Catherine Suzanne O'Brien, magna cum laude. Roske Rick Okazaki. Kirsten Elizabeth Mary Olson. Alyssa Rose Omana. Laurel Elizabeth O'Rourke. Rodolfo Orozco. Angelica Maria Ortiz. James Schuyler Otteson. Kendall Louise Owens. Gordon Kwame Oredu Jr. Hannah Elizabeth Paste. Hope Isabella Palalay. Yu Shu Pan. Samuel Raymond Parker. Gerald Michael Parks. William Connor Patterson. Anna Elizabeth Pommier. Eli Piñate. Joseph Henry Perkins. Carrie Ann Paris, magna cum laude. Michael Dean Perry, cum laude. Kelly Danielle Peterson. Carrie Elizabeth Peterson. Hoai Nat Pham. Ethan Alexander Phillips. Madeline Margaret Pachetta. Grace Elizabeth Pittner. Grant Joseph Plummer. Nicholas Adam Polanco, cum laude. Magdalena Christina Popek. Gary Michael Potter. Peyton Iman Powers, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Proctor. George Tybalt Qual Summa, cum laude. Rodrigo Sebastian Rabanal. Penelope Alfonsina Ramirez. Robert Lee Abed Ramirez, cum laude. David Edward Van Pilsum Rasmussen. Adam Drake Rathbun. Zachary James Reichley. Natalie Elizabeth Yunhong Ryman, cum laude. Mary Martha Rising, cum laude. Jacob Carl Rhodes. Micah Robert Rhodes. Ellen Renwick Reilly. Riley Catherine Reardon. Hector Rivera Jr. Carrie Marie Robinson, cum laude. Howard Jacques Robinson III. Daniel James Rutherfeld. Caitlin Noel Rogers. Chase Alexander Rollins. Jara Shantae Rollins. Alida Anna Ruorda. Joseph Michael Ross. Maggie Marie Roth. Jacqueline Rueda. Alexander John Ruger. Maria Margaret Rummel, cum laude. Katie Lynn Rust. Alice Rhodes Ryan. Claire Ann Ryan. Nathaniel Flattery Ryan. Lauren McQuinn Saint, magna cum laude. Sarah Janae Salazar, cum laude. John Charles Parker Sampson. Matthew T. Santon. Andy Billings Sarkeesian. Anna Christine Scalzo, magna cum laude. Kaylee Lynn Schaefer, cum laude. Everett Lewis Shaw. Marie Elissa Schloniger, magna cum laude. Mary Suzanne Schmenk. Thomas Carol Schmelzer. Allison Lee Schultz, summa cum laude. Anthony Joseph Shrino. Emily Frances Cinta. Elizabeth Carol Seaver. Christina Jin Suk Thong, cum laude. Tiernan Bennett Shank. D. Shao, cum laude. Anna May Sherrill. Olubusola Zainab Shifatu, summa cum laude. Tara Elizabeth Chanel, cum laude. Brandon Thomas Schultes. Emily Marie Shy, cum laude. Mackenzie Marie Sikora. Yesenia Silva. Lauren Catherine Sims. Shelley Ann Simon, cum laude. Kinsey Gabrielle Simpson. Allison Elizabeth Singer. Uliana Sinkovich. Hallie Elise Serrata. Christina Lane Skiles, cum laude. Grant A. Skipper. Gabrielle Nicole Smart. Jake Felton Smith. Joshua Dale Smith. Nathaniel John Smith, summa cum laude. Richard Carroll Smith II. William Quinton Smith. Mirza Somoon. Claire Christine Sorensen. Frederick Lawrence Soster, cum laude. Eric Philip Spear. Grant Edward Spratt. Elizabeth Christine St. John, magna cum laude. John Robert Stanton. Madison Marie Steele. Catherine Rebecca Steele Kanowski. Peter Richard Steiner, summa cum laude. Sean Woodburn Steinman. Emma Catherine Sterry. Cameron Marcel Stewart. Lucas Stephen Strong, cum laude. Amanda Victoria Straw. Taylor Leah Summers. Melina Tang. Lobsang Tashi. Patrick Howland Taubensee. Anastasia Tavkelidze. Edward Cooper Terry. Ampaporn Tambundit. Dejan Tashara Thomas. Adam James Tierney. Jessica Lynn Tilly, summa cum laude. Ellen Martha Tinder. Nicholas Michael Tobar. Lauren K. Town. Michael Gordon Tracy. Mai Lin Lei Tran, summa cum laude. Jennifer Page Traver. Carson Suzanne Shaw Trinkino. Sean Dalby Truax. Ia Serotse, summa cum laude. Brady J. Tucker, magna cum laude. Brock Everett Weston Turner. Emma Marie Euland, summa cum laude. Caitlin Marie Utz, cum laude. Monica Nicole Valadez. Emma Marie Vion. Kareem Vidal. John Damon Vitale. Jasenia Viviescas. Julia Jane Wagner, cum laude. Megan Kathleen Wagner, magna cum laude. Carly Brooke Wallace, cum laude. William Nathaniel Wallace. Sierra Rain Wallen. Christine Ann Walsh, magna cum laude. Sing Yi Wong, cum laude. Diamond Maisha Ward. Emily Jo Ward. Chow Wan. Okay. Chow Wan. Amelia Claire Warren. Amanda Joan Weber, summa cum laude. Charles Joseph Weber. Dalen Thiessen Lane Weddle. Travis Hunter Wegren, cum laude. Kendall Page Weinert. Morgan Marie Weller, cum laude. Kensley Ann Westerfield. Margaret Lee Wetzel, summa cum laude. Jonathan Armin Wheeler, cum laude. Jackson David Whiting. Foster Mason Whitlock, Jr. Gretchen Margaret Wilder. Leah Gail Williams. Elizabeth Susan Wilson, cum laude. Sarah Jane Wilson, cum laude. Kylie Logan Winters. Bradley Franklin Wise. Samantha Jane Witt, cum laude. Nicholas James Werner. Aaron Jacob Wolf. Hannah Elizabeth Wood. Ian Thomas Wright, cum laude. Ann Hodgson Wyman. Jing Shu. Jingping Shu. Miao Shu. Kenneth Olson Yeager. Ya Ting Yang. Zhou Yao, cum laude. Lin Yi, cum laude. Drake Allen Yider, cum laude. Broderick Joseph Yeckel. Charles Gregory York, Jr. Yue Yu. Diana Joannina Zayons. Min Lu Zhang, magna cum laude. Xin Zhang. Ting Zhang, cum laude. Wanyi Zheng, cum laude. Mingxing Zhou, cum laude. Yuran Zhou. Weedy Zhu. Christopher John Zott, cum laude. Congratulations.
Congratulations to each of you and your families today. These persons, having been awarded degrees from this university, are now eligible to join the ranks of her esteemed and honored alumni. Therefore, as the chair of the Board of Trustees, I hereby authorize the president of the DePauw University Alumni Association, Donald M. Phelan, class of 1979, to welcome these graduates into the roles of DePauw University alumni. Don.
On behalf of the DePauw University Alumni Association, it is my pleasure to congratulate the class of 2017 on becoming alumni. You are now joining a dedicated group of nearly 30,000 alumni worldwide. And by virtue of your graduation today, you are also the newest members of a high-energy branch of the Alumni Association known as GOLD, Graduates of the Last Decade. The DePauw Alumni Association is one of the best networking groups on the planet. Not only were alums available to you during your undergrad years here at DePauw, but they are also here for you today and tomorrow. This is your network, and I encourage you to stay connected with one another no matter your age or stage in life. Today is a day focused on moving forward, and I would like to ask three things of you. As you go forward, look back. Your 4 years here were your unique and extraordinary time. Remember the faculty member who transformed you. Remember Dr. Mark McCoy's outstanding inauguration speech from civil rights pioneer and DePauw alum Vernon Jordan. Remember Ubben lectures from former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom David Cameron and from Hamilton Broadway star Leslie Odom Jr. You made lifelong friends here, and together you witnessed the Chicago Cubs win its first World Series in 108 years. And thanks to the grit, the perseverance, and the athletic prowess of several of you seated here before me, the Monon Bell is now back in Greencastle, Indiana. As you go forward, I want you to come back. Every year in June, we throw a wonderful party for all alums called Alumni Reunion Weekend. Don't wait 5 years to come to your first one. Come back in 3 weeks. We'll be here. Finally, as you go forward, I want you to give back. Send the admissions office the name of a high school student in your town that would be an asset to an incoming freshman class. Host a summer intern. Become involved in a DePauw Regional Council where you live. Accept a faculty invitation to participate in a panel discussion. And last but certainly not least, remember that many of you were given scholarships to attend here, and those scholarships were funded by thousands of alums before you who gave gifts to DePauw, both large and small. Pay it forward as you are able. I wish you good health. I wish you passion and purpose in your chosen professions. May you always stand under your own light and shine, and may you always have a warm place in your heart for a special place in Greencastle, Indiana, known as DePauw University. Congratulations, class of 2017. You are, at this moment, the newest alumni in the world.
Without quality faculty, no university could perform its important work. Today, we recognize 2 members of the teaching faculty who have provided the university with uncompromised effort in regard to the classroom experience and are retiring at the close of the current academic year. I would now like to recognize Rex A. Call, 1989-2017, Director Emeritus of Sports Medicine with rank of Professor Emeritus of Kinesiology, seated among the faculty. And Paige Cotton, 1972-2017, Professor Emeritus of Kinesiology, Director Emeritus of Athletics and Recreational Sports.
Before we close today, I would like to ask the class of 2017 and the families and friends gathered here to join me in thanking the staff who have labored ceaselessly to make certain this weekend was memorable and perfect for you. Staff, thank you very much. And as has been executed by the DePauw presidents who have held this office before me, I will now read to you the charge to the graduating class. Would the members of the class of 2017 please stand? In advancing you to your degrees, you have been admitted to the company of graduates of DePauw University, and you have been made members of the larger company of university graduates elsewhere. You have entered into a community entrusted with a noble inheritance. You have earned these honors. You are the heirs of all the past. Men and women of rich mind have labored And you have entered into their labors. Prophets and sages, scholars and scientists, poets and public servants have wrought with patience, and the abundant fruit of their toil is now yours. It is yours to use, to increase, and to bequeath to your successors. In the name of those who have gone before you and of those who are to follow you, the university charges you to be strong and to acquit yourselves with integrity and be loyal to your highest ideals. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Please stand if you are able. Let us go forth into the world, carrying the memories of all that has transpired here today in this sacred time of transition and celebration. Graduates, remember the spirit that was with you when you arrived here at DePauw. The spirit that was with you as you learned new things, the spirit that shaped you into the people who stand before us today. That spirit is with you always, to the end of the age. Your families, your friends, your faculty, the staff, and the trustees of DePauw University send you out into the world with our blessing. May your life and work be a gift to all.
DePauw, we toast today and raise our voices high.